That one I think would have been too repulsive.
I think honestly mine's worse.
I don't think so. I think the visual of the one I just told you is tough. Hey, good morning. Well, sorry we're late. We're waiting on data. Trying to help you guys out here. We're waiting on data. It should be up soon. Let me see. Did we get a response yet?
We did. I handled it.
Okay. All right, we should be good in a few minutes. Anyway, happy to have you guys with us. Sorry, like I said, we're always trying to have data on hand when we start these shows up. Just makes it easier for all of us. Yeah. But we'll have it in a few minutes, according to the data team. Appreciate you guys bearing with us. Welcome to the Strategy Show. Dave Loughran, Josh Engleman back with me. Driving home. He's driving home tonight. So you're going to be on tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. What time are you driving?
I'm hoping I leave here at 2, which means I'll get home around 11.
Really? Is that how long it is?
Yeah, trust me, I wish it wasn't.
Damn.
Yeah. So that'll be fine. 2 is a goal. 3 is kind of likely, but I didn't get to bed till 2:30 last night, so it can't be any worse than that.
What were you doing?
I had a buddy over. We were catching up. It's got some real life going on, so tried to be a sounding board as much as I could.
Oh, okay. The psychologist.
Yeah, like, trust me, I wanted to go to bed at midnight, but I was just like, look, if it means that I'm tired for a little bit, I think it's good to have this conversation. So
Josh is actually a much nicer person in real life.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's true. Except, so we were in New York City. We went to Madison Square Garden. By the way, I think one of those filthy New Yorkers got me sick.
It is a dirty, dirty city.
By the way,
I mean, so is Philadelphia. So
yeah, but I don't live in Philly.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I don't want to. I find them both equally disgusting for different reasons.
Sure. You saw where I live.
Oh, sure.
So I haven't been there since weed was like legalized from a recreational standpoint. I think the last time I was in New York City was like 2019, right before COVID.
Okay.
New York City, it just, every step you take just smells like weed. It's really incredible.
I mean, it might have been because you were taking every step next to me.
It wasn't that. It wasn't. It was, I'm telling you, I mean, as Greg put it, it just, it masks the smell of everything else. But
yeah, it makes it not smell like piss.
Pretty great. Look, I enjoyed it for sure. We had a good time. We went out to dinner, and shout out to our boy Eric, covered the entire dinner. We got a crazy steak. This guy, what did he try and order for appetizers?
This man ordered artisan lettuce and heirloom tomatoes.
$17 lettuce and $16 tomatoes. We just hit him so hard that he got back up, ran over and found the server and told him we'll do the oysters instead.
He had to.
No one was eating that.
No, and nor should they have.
You don't like vegetables. I love vegetables on something, but I'm not a rabbit.
I just don't. It was so preposterous. I'm hoping, is this the menu? Yeah, okay. I think I have the menu.
Yeah, listen.
No. All I got to hunt it down a little bit just because of that location. I don't know if they have this one posted like that. I'm only finding like their normal menu.
Either way, it said the appetizer was lettuce, and the other one was tomatoes. Never seen that before, but I guess we don't have that.
Preposterous.
Thanks for the super chat, Bug Boy. Here's some of more of my home run money since it just keeps printing. Appreciate it. And thanks, Chris, as always, for gifting members those super chats. Very nice of you.
I can't find a copy of the menu that we were looking at, which is a shame. I almost want to get it printed and hang it on my wall to remind me of the stupidity of ordering artisan lettuce and heirloom tomatoes for a table of 4 dudes. If that's a gal's night out, it's probably a pretty popular appetizer combo.
And it still shouldn't be.
No, it should. Maybe one of them, but not 2 is the only 2.
But also the price of something like that. When you're
Yeah,
talking like if
these were not cheap lettuces. Lettucei,
I think it was
whatever the
$2
plural of
oyster.
lettuce is.
It was what, $2 oysters? So a plate of 12 oysters was only 24 bucks, where
So it
you've
was
got a
lettuce.
$16 plate of lettuce.
It was so bizarre. It
He
was
said
so
something
bizarre.
like, I thought you guys would want it. But Eric took care of the entire dinner. So it
I was
was,
like, I've never thought anyone would want this anywhere.
but it's very nice of him.
It was very nice of him.
And I'm appreciative. But that was
Yes, it was redeemed. We got the two extremes. We tried to get artisan lettuce and heirloom tomatoes, and then we ended up on the opposite end of the spectrum
with what?
with a month-old dry-aged ribeye for the table.
No one ever orders it there because of the price. And Eric was just like, get anything. The guy comes up to us and he's like, hey, the guys in the back were really excited that you guys ordered this. But yeah, it was good. Josh only ate a little bit of it. That thing was delicious. Anyway, you ready to talk
I mean,
some
I ate
baseball?
like 3 or 4 pieces of steak. I had 2 slices of pizza, probably a dozen oysters. I mean, I went at it.
Yeah, you were in another dimension by that point.
It was an active time.
Let's talk 9 games. So Tuesday, very odd that you get anything less than 11 on a Tuesday, but we have 6 games in that late 6 o'clock window. So that knocks a lot straight off the top. Only 9 games today, man. That's still don't get me wrong. That's still like a pretty decent slate, just not for a Tuesday.
Right.
You have Michael King. I feel like we haven't talked about this guy in a long time. When is the last time?
Doesn't feel frequent.
When is the last? No, seriously. I actually checked at one point to see if he was coming off the IL, because I don't feel like any of the slates we've done in the past.
I don't feel like I've talked about him a lot.
He's got Pittsburgh, Seth Lugo at Minnesota, Gausman at LA. That's an interesting spot because Gausman's the type of guy that's all over the map, but that's a pretty appealing matchup.
Yeah.
Where do we want to start here? Oh, and Charlie Morton against San Francisco. But Matt Bellman and I talked a lot yesterday about, this Snell and Chris Sale matchup. And, I was like, look, I don't think Snell should be $1,200 cheaper than Sale in this matchup. Braves are striking out a lot right now. You know what ended up happening? They both just dominated.
Yeah.
Both of them
which is, not surprising in any way.
No, not at all. I mean, Sale ended up having 38. Snell ended up having 33. Yeah. They went crazy in a 1-0 game. What's that?
That'll get it done.
Yeah. It was a pretty crazy day for pitching for sure.
Yeah.
Particularly in that game. Where do you start up top where we have nobody above 9,500, but 7 guys north of 8K?
You probably start with Michael King, right? I think you have to.
I think you do. 3.4 total. Excellent strikeout stuff. At home in a good, pitcher friendly park. I know last time out against Pittsburgh, he got tagged. He was still fine. Still struck out 7, but I think he looks pretty good here. The question then becomes, and this is what I'm always curious of when we talk about these matchups where you have the Rockies, but you don't have the Rockies at Coors Field. Because yesterday, Brandon Pfaadt, we really liked him in that spot.
Yeah.
Gave up 4 runs, Josh, but struck out 11. Still finished with, you know how tough it is on DraftKings to finish with, let's say, 30 DraftKings points and give up 4 runs?
It does not happen. It doesn't happen frequently. You really just have to strike out everybody, basically.
Yeah. He went 7, didn't walk anybody, gave up 8 hits, 4 runs, 11 Ks, and had 29 fantasy points. So now you look at a guy like Rodriguez, Eduardo Rodriguez. What do we do with he's only made 1 start through 65 pitches? That's the problem. At $8,700, even though Colorado has such a low total, how do you justify something like that? I don't think you can.
No, I mean he looks solid, I guess. But that whole bunch of Lugo, Gausman, Erod, Morton, Cortes, even Cutter Crawford, like they all look pretty similar, and you're just trading salaries around there. So I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up well. It'll be interesting to balance the ownership in that spot. I think that's going to dictate a lot of the split of those 5 guys for me.
Yeah. I mean, like Lugo's 9,300.
Yeah.
He's the
That's
type
probably
of guy
the toughest one for me.
to get to.
Yeah, just because
so.
I think the cheaper guys look basically the same.
I quite like Gausman here. I just never know what to do with him. Like
He's
his last two
he's been
starts,
so different this year.
I know. Last 2 starts, 2 strikeouts in each. But it was at Yankees and against the Orioles.
I look at this. If you include 2023 along with this year, Kevin Gausman's got a 28% K rate against righties, a 25% K rate against lefties. If you just look at this year, it's 21% righties, 21% lefties. Like he is down 6% to righties. If you just add in this year, he's down 4% more against lefties by adding in this year. That's a stark change.
Wow.
I mean, he was a 30% K rate guy last year to righties and lefties, and it's 21 and 22 this year.
What do you make of the fact that his outside contact rate is up 10% from the last 2 years?
That strikes me as a really bad sign.
Right? I mean, you're getting swings outside of the zone, okay? Less than you did last year, but the same you did in plenty of other years. But now they're making contact at a 10% higher clip.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Why are your outside, why are you more hittable now? Is a question I don't really have an answer to.
Actually, as a matter of fact, they're swinging a lot less outside of the zone, but they're hitting it. They're making contact a lot more outside of the zone.
Yeah,
that seems
swinging
troublesome.
3% less, making contact 10% more.
Not good.
No, not really bad.
Doesn't it kind of feel like with Gausman at this point, you're just clicking and then white knuckling the whole start, in the sense of like, you're going to get some good starts from him this year. I'm looking at it. He has 1, 2, like if you say 25 DraftKings points is a very good start, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. And then he also has a ton of bad starts. Then he has a few that are just nowhere close to justifying 9K. But then he's got like the 33, the 46, the 33 again. He's all over the map. I just don't know what to make of him. I will say though, it's a good spot. The Angels have they actually have a 4-run total here. I never know what to make of it. I don't even know if you can quantify his stuff right now.
I mean, if this 21% strikeout rate is real, 9K is a real tough sell.
It's a good point.
Like if he's just not that same guy and not striking out, 25, 26% of guys like normal, what is he then? He's going to a park that's not necessarily great to pitch in.
But again, this is kind of what I'm saying with these Jekyll and Hyde type performances. Like you have an 8 strikeout, 10, 7, 6, 10, 10, 6, 6, 8, 6. But then 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2.
Those days, like, yeah,
I don't know what you're getting from him ever.
It feels like not enough. And then he goes
does.
out there and drops 25 plus, and it's just like, okay, well, he locked himself into being one of the pitchers you need. Very, very high ceiling, very low floor.
And then you've got guys like Nestor Cortes, who has just been outright bad recently.
Like, yeah, have you seen the run of his last few games and the amount of runs and shit he's given up?
It's bad. And I mentioned to you before that outside of home, outside of Yankee Stadium, he's been really bad. But Even at Yankee Stadium, his last 2 starts, he's been blown up, like 6 runs in each of them. Tampa and LA, no less.
Yeah, I mean, last 5 starts, just his game score. 25, which is awful, 52, which is average, 38, 10, and 30. I mean, that's 4 like pretty easily below average starts.
Look how deep he's gone into those games.
And even his at the average start, 6 Ks, 2 walks, went 5 innings. He just happened to only give up 3 hits, 9, 9, 8, and 7 in the other 4 starts.
Look how deep he's gone into those games.
He's not going deep at all right now.
No.
Barely, not just short of 5, just over 5, short of 5, short of 5, short of 5. He hasn't even been able to he hasn't even been able to qualify for the win in those starts.
Hey, by the way, appreciate you guys hanging with us. If you haven't done so yet, take a single second, atone for your sins this morning. Hit that thumbs up. I almost forgot. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. It's greatly appreciated. It goes a long way for us. Oh, is that right? Tyrone Tracy carded off? You don't even know who that is, but
The guy that they stabbed in the lung?
That's Tyrod Taylor.
I know. I don't know who this is, though.
He's a running back for the Giants.
Yeah, no idea.
All right, let's talk about a few more of these guys here.
Let's do
I'm
it.
kind of fascinated by this slate now that there's seemingly warts on all of these guys up top. Right?
There are.
Charlie Morton coming off a disastrous start. That was when we did the early slate last week.
Yeah, go Brewers.
Disastrous start. 4 homers, didn't get out of the 3rd. Still a decent enough pitcher.
Yeah.
Still,
Good
you know,
spot.
he's like a strikeout per inning guy. Fine with that. Good park. Sam Fran much better against lefties. Didn't matter against Chris Sale yesterday.
Nope.
Is Charlie Morton just the guy that we should be looking to up here?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I figure he's somewhere in like the 20% owned range. That's going to be the tough part for me. Like, one of these guys is going to end up being like 25 to 30, and one of them is going to end up being 10. And the 10 guy is probably going to be the guy that I end up finding most interesting, just based on the way that I look at these projections.
Yeah.
And then there's Paul Blackburn, which we'll talk about, I guess.
I guess we can do it right now. Well, I also want to talk about Zebby Matthews.
Yeah, it took me a little bit to find out his first name was actually Daniel. Had to hunt that one down.
First name's Daniel.
Yeah. Steamer uses like real names for their indicators. So I was like, okay, Zebby Matthews' real name, because I couldn't find him, and he is Daniel.
Wonder is his middle name like Zebediah?
I don't know. I didn't dig in because I realized very quickly that I will not be rostering him. I will have, because Paul Blackburn is on the slate.
How chalky is Paul Blackburn going to
be? I have him with the 3rd best implied odds of any pitcher on the slate. So, I don't know, probably 20 to 30 is my guess.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's going to be pretty popular. I mean, you're not going to Cannon.
That's never a good feeling.
Let's talk about some of these guys down here. You're not going to Jonathan Cannon against the Yankees.
Nope. He is the worst option today.
Austin Gomber.
We got projections a minute ago.
Okay. Which means that we should be getting ownership and everything else pretty shortly.
Yep.
You're not going to Austin Gomber.
Nope.
You're not going to Jose Urena.
Nope.
Ross.
You're not going to Luis Ortiz.
Ross Stripling.
Stripling's like half interesting just because he's 6K, but I still only have his implied ownership at 5%. So we are not talking. The highest I have of anybody below Blackburn is 7% to Kyle Harrison. There's not a lot at the bottom.
I feel like Stripling should be 5K and maybe I'd be more interested.
Yeah, that would unlock him a little bit more. He's a little expensive in this.
He has a 12% K rate this year.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to miss bats.
7% swinging strike rate. No, that's bad.
It's real bad.
Talked about a bad outside contact rate for who are we saying? Who are we talking about? Gausman.
Gausman.
His is 72%. So
Not good.
not good at all. What about
No.
Gavin Stone against Milwaukee?
I mean, it's viable. Like you're not if the lineup shows up and his name is in it, I don't think that you should go out of your way to immediately get him out of there, but I don't see it as a priority.
He's been another guy that was dominating up until the last month and a half. No, yeah, last 2 months really. And then he's fallen off a cliff.
I'm pulling up his rolling chart right now.
Yeah, pull up Gavin Stone. It's eye popping. He had one, yeah, like up until say the 20, the last month and a half since the start of July, he's completely fallen off a cliff. His last six starts, really bad.
Very bad. Yeah, his rolling average on his xFIP is startling. It was really bad at the start of the season, then really good in his like middle section, and now it's ramping back up. Rolling average 4.55 xFIP. I mean, there was a time where it was like a full run below that during the year.
I wonder
Which
what's
leads
going
me to
on.
believe that like the truth is really the middle, and he's just like an average guy.
I would agree. Now, he's also priced like someone who's struggling as well.
Also true. Yeah, you do get a little bit of value there, but again, I just think like I have Paul Blackburn 3.5 points ahead of him. I'm just gonna have a real hard time getting there.
Zebby Matthews intrigues me a little bit.
Talk to me. I mean, prospect.
All right. So a couple of things. One, when a guy's coming up, what's the first thing you look at for a guy coming up out of the minors?
Stuff and strikeout rate wherever he
Yeah,
was before.
exactly. And it's not bad at all. 30% at AA, 28.5% at AAA. You know, probably profiles as a league average strikeout guy at the
Yeah.
major league level. Not bad.
55 fastball, 60 slider, no changeup, slightly better than average command. He was the number 6 prospect for the Twins coming into the year.
Number 6, you said, for the Twins.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Oh, he went to Western Carolina. Okay. I'll support him a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know.
I,
I
like
kind of I kind of like this spot.
I don't
Kansas
not
City,
get it. I get it. I get where you're coming from.
like Kansas City, I don't know what it is. It might have been Matt that mentioned this yesterday, but on the road, they've been a totally different team. 297 WOBA on the season, 91 WRC plus. Not just average, but almost well below average numbers. Some power, they're middle of the road. They don't strike out a ton, but I'm looking at this. I'm saying a 4.4 run total. Yeah, it's one of those spots that I at least have. Let's say he's like completely unowned and Blackburn's 33%. Worth a conversation.
It is. Strikeout prop is, well, do you care to guess?
4.5.
Okay.
Neutral juice, just pretty much neutral line.
Minus 174 to the under.
On 4.5?
Yeah.
Wow.
Plus 680 for 7 or more.
Okay.
Plus 310 for 6 or more.
What's Paul Blackburn's K props looking like?
That's a good question. Let's take a look. Uh, 5.5. Minus 150 to the
To
under.
the under. Yeah.
Yeah, there aren't any alt lines, at least not on FanDuel, because the A's don't technically have a starter yet.
So fair to say you could project them for one additional strikeout than Matthews.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Somewhere in that neighborhood, at least.
We have Matthews projected very low today.
I have 12.5.
So like my guess,
So
just look,
Steamer projects Matthews' strikeout rate at 19, which has the opportunity to be a fairly, like, there could be a gap. Like if it could be 22 or 23.
right.
And I think that matters.
Who, Matthews, you said?
Yeah, I think conceivably, like, he could have a higher, like, 19 might be pessimistic.
I think it probably is. 19 seems, I mean, you're talking basically 10% lower than what it was at the minor league level.
Yeah, I mean, I think his sample is just really, really tiny. Like all of the projection models on, like, Steamer has it at 19 and a half, Zip says it at 20 and a half, the Bat has it at 19 and a half. Everybody's sort of coming in at that spot. He has about 100 innings this year, about 100 or around 100 last year. That's like his sample is 200 innings of pro ball, basically. So I'm not surprised to see it be at 19, but conceivably 22 or 23 is on the table. That definitely paints him in a different light. Let's just say out of curiosity. If I go to Matthews, and I have him right now projected for 3.9 strikeouts in 5 innings, which lines up with that 4.5 prop line and where the juice is. So I'm at 3.9. If I bump his strikeout rate from where it is, which is, those basically like 19 or whatever, it's Steamer has at 19.1 to righties, 18 and a half to lefties. I'm just gonna make it 22 and a half to both. That jumps his strikeout prop from 3.9 for me to 4.6. So to bump him up to like what would be like a very reasonable stance to take on his strikeout rate, you end up finding a little bit of value in that over 4.5 strikeout line.
I think you're right. Listen to
And
this.
let's see, what does that change his projection to? So I had him at 12.4 before the change. By bumping up that strikeout rate, that takes him from 12.4 to 13.9. So basically, by making that jump to make him like basically like an average strikeout pitcher, it'll gain him like a point and a half today.
That's pretty significant at that price point because
It's major.
like, what do you have Blackburn at?
16.8.
So it's still ahead, but then it's at least, you might end up with, these guys are mentioning it in chat. And yeah, I saw this earlier too. I'm glad you brought it up. Guess what through in the minors this year, guess what his K strikeout to walk ratio is? Well, actually, I'll ask you this. In how many innings? So 70, 80,
About 100.
How many walks do you think he has?
12.
Very close. 7.
Okay.
114 to 7.
Yeah, it projects at 5%. That's a command rate that I would have assumed was a little bit higher.
But you know what? It's say, all right, well, if this is a guy that pounds the strike zone, is it also worth looking at bats against him too?
Yeah, I mean, is he imminently hittable at that point?
Right. Yeah.
Do we find out that it worked? Is he one of these AAA guys where you can get those strikeouts like
That's what I'm
Yusmeiro
saying.
Petit was back in the day, where he would rack up this giant strikeout rate in the minors, but like he just doesn't find that stuff when it gets to the majors. Somehow, like he's a perfect quadruple A guy.
One way or the other, Zebby Matthews now just intrigues me as a prospect. Like, what are we gonna get out of him? Because that's 7 walks in say 100 innings is crazy, especially when it's different when you strike guys out like he does too. Like, having such a high K rate with such a low walk rate is pretty unique.
You don't see this that frequently. I mean, we're talking about like there's how many innings? 55 innings in AA this year, 30% K rate, 3% walk rate.
It's really, really crazy split.
Yeah.
So a 30% K minus BB rate.
Yeah. Even last year, if you look at his high A, where he threw 66 innings, 3.6% walk rate. Like he's just really not putting people on.
Hey, I want you to do something real quick. Don't pull up anything. I want you to we got ownership. I want you to take a guess at the 4 highest owned pitchers today.
I mean, King is 100%.
Nailed it. And I'll give you the order. So that is number one. We
No,
have
you
an,
don't even got to give me the. I'll even get it in the order.
do you want me to give you what percent owned he is?
Nah,
Okay.
I figure 45.
Are you looking?
No, I mean I have his implied at 48.8.
Yeah,
When I go
45.
that high, it's usually a little lower.
You got it. 45. Nailed it.
Um, Second is going to be Cortes,
Got it.
like 20.
24. You're in the
Okay.
ball. You're over the target. Which, by the way, that popular of Cortez, we'll talk about it, but I
Yeah.
don't love it.
I think Blackburn's 3,
Nailed it.
around 20.
Yep. Perfect.
And then Morton?
I'll give it to you. I mean, it's Harrison at 19.8 and Morton at 16.4. But
Okay.
to me, that's the same. You know, they're pretty much in the same
Wow.
range.
Harrison's what?
We have him at 20,
Ooh. Oh, yeah. I would have never got there. I have his implied at 7.
right? What do his props look like?
Let's take a look.
Also, this makes me like this is the time I'm willing to take a shot on Kevin Gausman if he's going to be 10% owned
Sure.
because
Uh,
he's still
Harrison,
yeah. Go ahead.
4.5 minus 148 to the over. So like,
That's not bad.
was that right around basically the same as Blackburn? Because
And
Blackburn was 5.5 juice to the over.
and earn runs 2.5 minus 154 to the under. So actually, the props don't look bad there. You're looking at about 5 innings, 5 strikeouts, and 2 runs,
Yeah.
pretty much.
7 plus is 3 plus 320.
Man, how about Gausman getting 10%?
I mean, like, I'm not shocked by that just because of how blurry that top range is, but it does make me feel like today's a good day to take that run at him.
What do you think about an 8% Rodriguez now against Colorado?
I just loaded it all up.
Still don't know if it's worth it.
I like that whole range now. I like Morton a little bit than 17% owned or whatever it is. I think Erod's like properly owned. I think Gausman's under owned. I think you can make a case that Seth Lugo is like a little under owned. I even like Cutter Crawford a little bit more than his ownership is showing. I
Honestly,
like that. I like that top range. I'm fascinated by it now.
was thinking the same thing about Crawford. He's also given up way less power at home. And it does make you wonder, is this just a guy that we're ignoring, but we shouldn't be?
I think a little bit. I'm not surprised. Like I expected to like him a little bit more than the public, and that appears to be exactly where I'm at. I'm gonna try to run a sim now too, now that we have everything.
Jordan, are you running one? All right. Yeah, let me know what results we get there. We can build a lineup out as well.
Yeah, I'm building my lineups right now. I'll probably have it in like 5 minutes.
Uh Riggs, yeah, of course. I mean, one preseason game isn't going to be the difference. He was asking if Bo Nix is good enough to be the Broncos quarterback. Yeah, of course. Uh, yeah, sure. Because what? Who's ahead of him right now? Jared Stidham. Not a whole lot of competition there.
No, it doesn't seem it.
Brandon said Riggs, it's
I don't know who Bo
preseason.
Nix is, so
It is preseason, but that stuff all matters when you got quarterback competitions. For what it's worth, Nix came in and didn't start, but he looked a lot better than Stidham.
yeah. I couldn't agree. He was doing the thing.
Bug Boy said, I think he may get smashed when he gives up contact. Zebby gives up power. I mean, not really. Don't get me wrong. At the AAA level, yeah, he did, but Double A's, high A. I
He's
guess it
given up
depends
21 home runs in his career.
I guess it just depends like what you want to pull from. Because last year at high A he gave up a good amount of power. This year in 19 innings at AAA he did, but 78 innings at high A and double A this year, he gave up virtually no power at all.
Yeah.
So projections have him giving up 1.43 home runs per nine, which is definitely worse than average.
Yeah.
I also don't disagree with you that if this is a guy who doesn't walk batters, you go up to this level, you could be getting into trouble. He has a
Yeah, is he going out of his way to not walk batters in the minors, and you're going to find out that kind of nibbling in the majors doesn't work.
right. Decent ground ball, right? You know, like a 47% ground ball guy. That's, it's not a fly ball pitcher.
No. He's going to be interesting to pay attention to today. I'm going to dig into him a little bit more and see how I want to massage those strikeout rates and see if I want to bring that up in any way.
I don't think there's really any more pitching to talk about.
I don't either. I think we've hit on everybody that has enough of a pulse today that we should be addressing them.
Jordan, let me go full screen on this. See what does our pitching exposure look like right now? All right, so a lot of King, Harrison, Cortes, Morton, way less Blackburn than I would have expected for us.
I have my lineups running now, so I'm curious. I expect to have quite a bit of him.
And Jordan, go to stack exposure too. You don't need to expand it. Just hit that. It'll work. Bottom or top. Yeah, that'll work.
I also would not be surprised to have
I guess
some
it won't.
Pirates.
I guess it won't. It worked for me earlier when I had like a smaller screen.
I assume I'm stacking the Braves pretty heavily, given Kyle Harrison's ownership.
San Diego, Arizona against Gausman, that makes sense. Yankees, Mets against Stripling. And then it's just spaced out a lot.
I'm clicking run on my sim, so about a minute.
And then let's build out let's hand build out a lineup for the single lineup sim.
Hell yeah. Now we're talking. Now I'm in.
Would you be willing to entertain a White Sox build against Nestor Cortes with how he's struggled?
Absolutely. I know KJ and Chad will probably say that you still can't ever roster the White Sox because they play baseball, but yes. Much as I was willing to roster the White Sox last week and 2 weeks ago, I'm just as willing to do it today.
5-man or 4-4s, 3-man, or anything really?
Look, at least for me, they're second in value. They have only 2 guys north of 2,700 today. 4 of the guys in the lineup have an MPE. I mean, they are imminently stackable, and then you get anything you want there. You want White Sox, Michael King, you can fill out the rest of that lineup with whatever you want.
Using the stochastic tools, looking at the top stacks tool for today, Toronto has the highest value score, followed by Chicago White Sox.
Yep. All right, I have my lineups done. Let's take a peek at what would I have if I were playing right now?
Arizona 3rd against Austin Gomber. Wouldn't expect to see Ketel Marte, but that's another good spot for them. They have a 5.3 run implied total. There are actually some very good stacking opportunities today.
All right, I got my exposures.
What do you got?
54% Michael King, as expected. Number 1 guy. 40% Paul Blackburn, as expected. Number 2 guy. 32% Cortes, 26% Charlie Morton. Those are the 4 guys I actually have a big stand on.
So you have a lot of Cortes as well.
Yeah. I'm not shocked given his projection. I am, and given that matchup, but I can't say that I'm happy about it.
It's not shocking. It's just uncomfortable. That's all.
Sure is.
White Sox have
Yankees, Blue Jays, Rangers, top 3 stacks for me.
Yankees, Blue Jays, Range. Okay. 3.6 run total for the White Sox. Yankees are minus 300 money line favorites. So,
Yeah, I mean, that feels easy to want to click on that.
I mean, the Yankees on the run line are minus 180, minus 1.5.
Yeah, I mean, I have it at 6.3 runs for the Yankees and 3.6 runs for the White Sox. Yeah, they look good.
Where do you want to start with the single lineup, Sim? Where do you want to start building?
Well, the team that I have the second most of, and is owned a little bit less, is the Blue Jays against Carson Fulmer.
I'm all right with that. I also like Arizona against Austin Gomber quite a bit.
I have 8%, so I don't not have them. Who do you want to take?
Let's
Who do you
try a
want to
four. Let's try a 4-4.
Okay. Do
Or
you want to go
no, let's do
Diamondbacks and Jays?
Yeah, let's do a 5-3. You can pick the 5. You want to go? We can go Jays 5, Diamondbacks 3.
I'm going to aim for one of those two things. Like, if I see a 4-4, I'll go 4-4. If we see a 5-3, we'll go
see
5-3.
what works best. Yeah.
Let's go Blue Jays, Diamondbacks.
Okay. And as always, if you guys have any lineups that you want to throw in, throw them in chat. Jordan can run them for you. And we can see what we can get working here. And of course, you ever want to check this tool out, or ownership, player projections, top stack tool, top pitchers, top hitters tool, Sims, post contest sim, late swap tool, all of that stuff. Links in the description and chat. You get a week, a month, do it however, play it however you want. You can dip your toes in, or you can just dive in. Just know that you ever have any questions, we'll answer them beforehand or after the fact in our Discord. But beforehand, on Twitter, on here, happy to help you guys out with anything. I think you'll love these tools. This tool is probably the best tool we've ever made, at least from like people that still enjoy hand building and that way. If you don't, well, you have the actual sim, which is just gonna
Right.
Sim tens of thousands of lineups in minutes. Where do you want to start?
So the 4 guys that I'm looking at for Arizona so far are Josh Bell, Perdomo, Gurriel, and Corbin Carroll.
Okay.
And then I can kind of go any direction after that.
All right. One more time. Perdomo, Carroll.
Perdomo, Gurriel, Carroll, and Bell.
All right.
I'm just clicking a bunch of people right now and figuring out how that shakes out. I have a 4-4 built.
Before you do, I like Suarez today as well.
Okay. No disagreements.
Well, I'm saying we could get a 5. Why don't we try a 5-3 Arizona Toronto?
Yeah, that works.
I'm tempted to put Kevin Gausman in this.
Sounds fun.
I mean, really, how much? Listen, how much sketchier really is Gausman than Nestor Cortes?
Not.
If you go Michael King and Kevin Gausman, we have 3,800 remaining for catcher, second base, and outfield.
Trying to get this all built out.
And then if you go with Kirk, we have 4,100 remaining. Oh, sweet. They deployed that new feature where it auto advances position.
That's
Haha.
great.
I
It's
love
great.
that. It seems like nothing, but it's not. It's awesome. So basically, like if you add a player, now it just auto advances to the next position.
It's just like a no-brainer ad that makes life so much easier.
Okay.
I
I
think
just want to,
I think I'm about to have it. Oh my God, I have so much salary left over, so I'm gonna be able to make a change here.
I already have one that I'm running right now.
Okay.
The three J's are Kirk, Horowitz, and Springer with Michael King and Gausman, 34% simmed ROI. That came out nice.
Read your lineup.
All right. King and Gausman,
Yeah.
Kirk, Bell, Horowitz, Suarez, Perdomo, Carroll, Gurriel, Springer. It's a 5-3 Arizona, Toronto.
Kirk, Bell, Horowitz, Suarez,
Perdomo, Carroll,
Gurriel. Uh-huh.
get Gurriel, Springer.
Okay.
I have 200 remaining. It actually came out pretty nice as a 5-3. I really like that a lot.
I have Varsho in right now. But like it keeps me with $1,200 left over. I'm really curious what that does and if I can turn this into like a 5-2-1 with that savings and get one of these idiots out of here.
I don't hate that at all. So you have
36 and a half is what I got.
so
I
basically the same. We got the
It's
same thing.
Varsho for Springer. I'm going to take a look at swapping out Horowitz for whoever I have as the best second baseman and see if I could spend that money a little bit better.
Honestly, based on our projections, you'd pull Corbin Carroll, put Varsho projects really well.
He always projects well for me, so I probably don't even want to say that out loud. All right. That's not second base for sure. I definitely typed the wrong number in there. Yep, sure did. All right, my best second baseman today is David Hamilton. If I put him in, now I only have 500 left over, and it's a five-man Arizona with Kirk, Varsho, and the one-off of David Hamilton. Now maybe I could upgrade Varsho.
Well, I just found the lineup.
62.6.
Not bad. I just got a 73.4.
You jerk.
Can I read this to you?
Yeah, of
This
course.
is sick. So what I did was went with your original idea, going 5-3 Toronto.
Okay,
Swapped out Bell for Vlad. Okay.
sure.
Kept Springer, swapped out Carroll for Varsho. So now we have King, Gausman. Jordan, you can build this one too if you want. King and Gausman at pitcher. Alejandro Kirk, Vlad Guerrero at catcher and first. Horowitz and Suarez at second and third. And then in the short, Perdomo. Then outfield, Varsho, Gurriel, Springer.
And you got to 70 something?
73.4.
I'm a little jelly.
Shortstop is Gurriel, or I'm sorry, Perdomo.
I can't lie. I'm a little jealous.
I wonder what would happen if I put Cortes in over Gausman.
I'm guessing it goes up.
Gurriel and Varsho. It went to 68%, so pretty similar.
Huh. I want to now I'm just like now all I want to do is make changes and beat you.
I mean, 73.4 is a nice number
I
for
was happy with my 60s and you just were like womp womp. No, you
60 solid.
stink.
As 76.8 if I swap Gausman for Morton in for Gausman. So we're on to something here for sure.
It appears we are. I just put Morton in. That leaves me 6,100. Hmm. Just want to beat you so bad.
Jordan,
this is now just a competition.
yeah. And the worst part is mine hit right when yours did too. So
I got 65 again.
Jordan, run that one for Einsteinium. So he has King and Carson Fulmer, Wong, Otani, Hamilton, Sogard, Rafael Merrill, Yoshida, and Peralta. That's an interesting build.
It is. I am finding trouble running you down.
I mean, I hit Jordan, do you still have the Sims open? Forget about this for a second. Do you still have the Sims open? Go to that real quick. Favorite 100, you already did. Go to lineups. Oh, dude, Josh. Look at that. That would have been the fifth. That would have been number 5. That would have been the 5th best lineup.
Okay, I need to beat you now. This must be. I need to hunt down the answer. If I don't run you down, I think I just recreated your lineup, so I might just shout it out thinking I created the goods, and it's just everything we've been talking.
That would give me so much satisfaction if you just
still
built my lineup and
still
then
61.
And then that would be beautiful.
No, it wouldn't. No, it would not. I should be loading my projections here, but that would change all of our conversations. Okay, can I get better from this point? If I go King Blackburn. Now, the key is not having pitchers with I need to get a pitcher that I have not enough ownership on. That might be Gausman.
I think Gausman is really interesting today. I'm fine to just eat the bad performance. It doesn't really bother me. You know, if you're playing one of these lineups and you're looking for somebody else that 10% ownership. Nestor Cortes is getting owned by a quarter of the field right now. It seems pretty crazy.
I can't even talk to you right now. My sole focus is running you down here.
We built a banger.
We did build a banger.
Well,
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Because you built it and I didn't.
Well, you were here for it to experience it.
I guess, but like it's a lot cooler if it's my idea. That's just how life works. It is cooler for me if I'm right. And I am clicking every button I can find right now to make this work.
Man, I hope Gurriel's in the lineup so this works.
$900 left over. There's no chance this lineup is the one. But I could upgrade here. Okay, I'm stumped. I think I'm getting there. Nope, I took a gigantic step backwards. I tried circling in some Yankees and getting Austin Wells in at catcher, and that was not the path I needed.
Now you're just forcing it.
I am forcing it. That is.
By the way, if you decide you don't want to move backwards and you'd like $150 in bonus bets plus 50 casino spins, well, in the state of Pennsylvania, bet 365, baby. Deposit 10, bet 5. That's all there is to it. That's it. Deposit 10, bet 5. Jordan can pull the states up. If you're in any of these states, now they got like 12 or 13 of them where you can play bet 365. They just went live in PA like 3 weeks ago. So I've been very excited about that. But any of those states, man, $150 in bonus bets, just bet 5. Or you get the first net safety net for 1,000. But I think a lot of you guys are probably looking for the bonus bets. Links in the description, link in the chat.
Don't waste those opportunities, guys. It's just going to be better for you and will not negatively impact you at all. Why leave it on the table?
I think a lot of people just get comfortable with one book, but yeah.
I mean, I think you're right.
Just makes too much sense to take advantage of it. Got to be 21 years old to gamble. You have a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. But aside from that, yeah, that's just bonus bets that can turn into, we have a free bet converter over on OddsShopper too, where you could literally just plug in how much your bonus bet is, and it'll give you a way to make guaranteed money on that.
Yeah,
Now,
and that's not a gimmick either. Like you
no,
can,
yeah, no, it's not a gimmick.
it's not a joke. It'll tell you exactly the amount of money that you will have in your pocket when it's done.
Guaranteed
Your
money.
digital pocket, whatever, you know what I mean?
Correct. Guaranteed money. Anything else you're trying to look at here before we go?
I'm trying to build out my 5-man Blue Jays, which is my most exposed stack, and I'm trying to figure out if what I think is like the best combo for those guys. So I have Kirk, Guerrero, Horowitz, Springer, Varsho, and now I'm trying to figure out sort of like what fits at third, short, and outfield to fill this one in. Devers at third is my number one guy, so I should get him in there. I'm going to be running quite light from a pitching perspective.
And by the way, if any of you guys are wondering, and maybe you don't have access to our tools, Top Stack tool, it's still what? It's noon Eastern time, so
Yeah.
a lot of things can change. But Yankees by far highest Top Stacks percentage, number one in stack score. But Toronto is third in Top Stack percentage, and also second in stack score, while Arizona's up there as well, top 5 in both of those. So that's why it's going to look pretty good here, no doubt. Plus, both of them have great value. Number 1 and number 3 of value score, respectively. It's just two teams that look good. And then, Josh, you get into these spots like Dodgers against Colin Rea, Mets against Stripling, San Diego against Ortiz. I think all of them have potential today for sure. And I don't just want to completely write them off, but they're not popping for me like some of those other teams up top. Boston included looks pretty good.
Ooh, I got the 69.9.
You're close, brother. You're close.
Yeah, but I got the cooler
trying.
number. I got 69. That's better than 70.
You did, because that's all that matters. Now keep trying.
Cutter Crawford and Paul Blackburn, 5-man Blue Jays, 3-man Red Sox.
That's Crawford and Blackburn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Crawford and Blackburn.
Before we go, I want you to try one thing here.
I would love to.
All right. So are you zeroed out?
I can be.
No. Like, what do you have remaining?
Oh, I have $100 left over.
Okay. So essentially, yeah, see what happens if you go with, can you get to say a King and a Cortes or something like that, and then go with cheaper bats from those stacks?
Which the main stack? Well, let's try it.
What's your main stack?
Toronto, and it's expensive. All right, so let's do King. And I'll do Cortes since that's what you said.
I said Cortes because he's a little cheaper than Gausman. You're getting a $600 savings. It might be necessary.
All right, so King and Cortes in. It's going to make it really, really difficult to play Rafael Devers here. Right now, I'm 2,300 over. Stepping back off of Boston like that is going to be very hard. I might have to go 5-2-1. Yeah, I have to fill it out with a $2,100 shortstop, and I literally don't have that option.
No, you don't. All right, I was curious to see.
So it just means I gotta pull Devers.
Or you go Gausman and Cortes instead of King.
Yeah, maybe. Third base, I have 3,800 available. I can get our boy Eugenio Suarez there. 5-man Toronto, 2 Boston, and then Eugenio Suarez 1-off, which I don't hate. I think he looks great here against Gomber. So I don't think this is going to be a giant jump, but it's spending all my salary.
Yeah, I just want to see what that type of build looks like with the 2 more expensive pitchers today.
66.9.
Wow, so basically identical.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see that these teams look really good, even if you're going a little bit cheaper. with a
Yeah.
with a more expensive pitcher, or a little bit more expensive with a cheaper pitcher. Like these stacks look good depending, like regardless of the variety of build, you know?
It's just so much, like it's so good to just dig into this and like make those incremental changes and figure out what that does to the way that you're building your lineup. Like you just have such a better feel of like finding good players and bad players.
Absolutely. And you know what? For all you know, one day you may find yourself running one that's 73.4.
Yeah. Possible. You could even find 69.9. That is something that can be done.
Appreciate you guys hanging out. Obviously, hit us up on Twitter. You have any questions you want to talk shop? We're always over there. I'll be talking a lot of football as well, but come join us if you haven't yet. At Josh Engleman, at Lofty_D, LOUGHY_D. I saw Ben change this handle to Jazzraz Bets.
Yeah.
And he even put the Z at the end of bets. I said, oh, don't do that.
He kind of have to, though.
No, he didn't. He didn't. He did. Ben would I don't think so. Hold on. Did he?
He
No,
should have.
Thank God. No, you can't.
No, you got it. Because of all of the Z's, you have to.
I know, but I think it would make it look cornier that way. Just all Z's.
I don't know.
Once every month I go in and check to see if that Lofty account still exists. That asshole Brit that tweeted about his back being sore in 2009 and hasn't tweeted again since.
You're heartbroken.
He has 9 followers. 7 of them think they're following me. And it's still there. I thought Elon said he was going to purge inactive accounts. I bet he hasn't purged this guy yet because people have tweeted at him thinking it's me.
That's probably what it is. I mean, that would make a lot more sense.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah, that makes more sense. It was probably because of that. That seems reasonable.
Why wouldn't it be? Then he wouldn't be inactive anymore.
I just pray that one day I realize that it gets freed up and I get it before you do. Oh, I got 72.9.
Oh, you're close, dude. You're close. You're close. Nipping at my heels. Yeah, still to this day, I can't get that. I can't get it. Son of a bitch. Anyway.
I can't wait to get it. And then I'm just going to run my own account as you.
Lee Price said,
man, the Eagles stink. I'm giving up all my guns.
Lee, by the way, just said D-backs are so cheap, got to be popular. Can get Judge Ohtani easily with a 5-man snake stack. Yeah. Well, that's also one of the reasons I don't mind going to Gausman there or going with like the 3-man with a 5 J's stack. There's ways to get a little different there, but I don't disagree. Yeah. D-backs against Gomber with a 5.3 total are going to be popular for sure.
They are.
Anything else before we hit the road?
I think that's it. I think we're done here.
All right. For those of you still here, don't forget, guys, stochastic.com/HOF. Rock that avatar wherever it is you play. We inducted another member into the Ring of Honor. Just ordered the ring, shipped them out. Spinning display case. It says, like, it'll show your name engraved on it, on the face of it. With
they're so sick.
They're really cool.
I'm very jealous.
With the amount you won, the date you won it, and in the contest you won. But it's not just that. Like, you get a free month just for finishing top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more, even if it's like a 25-cent entry. It doesn't matter. Go to stochastic.com/HOF. Look at it for yourself. You don't have to have me tell you.
I might have to have you send me one.
To commemorate your 50K from back in the day?
The MMA one is the one I would want.
You need a win since, what was it, Jordan, like June 1st we started that? So yeah, so we'll wait on that, Josh, and then I'll get you one.
That's fine. The MMA one's just cool.
Very.
I just don't give a shit about baseball. The MMA one was fun. I'll never forget that.
May 20th, Ron said. Okay. Hey, appreciate you guys. Stick around live before lock later today. Shout out to
Odd Shopper Live next.
Josh has got Odd Shopper Live coming up right after this. It's on X and it's on Twitter, or I'm sorry, YouTube. So Catch it wherever it is that you prefer to listen, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be early live before lock or strategy show. Either way, we'll be here. Peace.